Next up, this is a family. I'm going to mention the family and also the genus that you're more likely to run into in Wisconsin. Both of them are kind of a mouthful. So we have Lentibulariaceae, and that is the bladderwort family. So bladderwort. I'll mention that one. Genus Utricularia. And the same family, Lentibulariaceae, also contains this genus called Pinguicula, which is also present in Wisconsin. And they're actually very different in their strategy. So kind of interesting that they're both carnivorous plants. I kind of skip over, I think, this other one. Genlizia is another genus in the family, but we do have native Pinguicula. We have native Utricularia. Our native Pinguicula, this is a plant genus anyway. You can find a lot of them south, like the southern United States or farther south into Mexico and beyond. Kind of surprising that you would find this in Wisconsin. It has kind of a delicate look, right? And it's even found in the very far northern regions of the state. So it's got these, they call it butterwort. It's kind of a buttery, glistening surface. It has really tiny, sticky hairs on there, not as extravagant as the sundew, but still has very sticky surface. If you're the right size of insect, you can see just some little fragments of insects that have met their fate on there. You don't have to eat big things if you are at least getting some nutrients from insects around you. So Pinguicula here, rather different plant. This is terrestrial, sometimes kind of aquatic. And then this other one, Utricularia, is definitely an aquatic plant. We have many that are fully submersed, some that are kind of borderline terrestrial in wet environments, and much different appearance of the flowers, I'd say. So the bladderworts have a more concealed reproductive organs in their flowers. The Pinguicula has them more open. This is kind of your standard bladderwort. We'll get into more details on this. Gets its name for these modifications that are little traps all along the branches there. So let's zoom in on this genus here, Utricularia. There's its common name, bladderwort. Wort just means basically plant, and bladder, sort of an open purse type of shape. And this is one of those bladder traps. It's takes advantage of eating similar to how fish eats. So fish will create a vacuum and sucks in water, and then also whatever animals are in that water near it. Same thing here. This is a closed up container that when these trigger hairs are tripped, these are part of the triggering system. When the trigger hairs are tripped, it opens up, and because it's underwater, it creates a vacuum that draws in whatever is nearby. So if you're a small crustacean or something swimming around in this area and you trip the hairs and the vacuum is generated, you go right in. So it's the bladder trap. It's on these, usually see them described as leaves, but they're very highly dissected, so they don't look so much like leaves, and they've got these traps all throughout. Depending on the species, there are more or fewer traps on those leaves. This one's very rich in traps. And then this calls back to what we talked about much earlier in the semester with aquatic plants. So we've got another one where the leaves are underwater. This is a submersed aquatic plant, but its flowering stalks are above the water. And kind of, if you don't know what you're looking at, you might be surprised to see these just coming out of the water. These are the flowers of that plant. So zygomorphic, as it says. There's a nectar spur on there. Kind of, I don't know if it's really shown in any of those, but another interesting feature of these flowers. Almost reminiscent of the bean family, kind of, or a snapdragon. So zygomorphic with their reproductive parts hidden.